Well, I've just written a new book called India Grows at Night. And this, though I don't complete the full sentence in the title, which is India Grows at Night when the government sleeps. On, on the one hand, I celebrate the idea that India has risen despite the state. But on the other hand, I think it is not good. The story of India as being of private success and public failure. So I do think India should grow during the day. And in this book, I contrast the story of two towns, Gurgaon and Faridabad. Faridabad is represented by the old India, the red tape, the bureaucracy, the corruption. And Gurgaon is an example of actually rising despite the state, which is the new India story. But I feel that even the citizens of Gurgaon, even though Gurgaon, of course, just got a municipality 2-3 years ago, but they would want an effective state. That they would want to have roads without potholes. They would want to have quick justice. They would want to have they'd want to have water, 24 hours water, electricity, and all these things. So I don't think that either Gurgaon or Faridabad are a model for India's future. What we need in India is a strong liberal state. What is a strong liberal state? It's a state which has got the ability to act quickly, determinedly, effectively. That action is bound by the rule of law and it's accountable to the people. Those are the three pillars of such a state. And that's, I would say, for that to happen, we need the reforms of governance, the reforms of the bureaucracy, the police, the judiciary. So all these are needed. India should not have, we should not have to wait 15 years to get justice. We should not take 12 years to build a road. It should not take 8 years to get a license to build a steel plant. This is what slows growth, brings corruption. Only a weak state allows corruption. A strong state does not allow corruption. And by strong, I don't want us to confuse with a dictatorship. No, it's a strong liberal state. So now how are we going to get it? That's the question. My book is not a how-to book with 5 ways to fix India. It is a book that brings insights into who we are as a people, the fact that India has always had a weak state but a strong society, unlike China, which was the other way around, which had a strong state and a weak society. Why India's history was a history of kingdoms, competing kingdoms. China's history was a history of empires. Why the king in India was weak, because unlike China, where the emperor gave the law and interpreted the law, in India, the king, the law, dharma came before the king, and the job of the king was to uphold dharma. And the interpreter of dharma was the Brahmin. And so I feel that there are many facets of our past that throw light on us. But at the same time, I don't believe history is destiny. I do believe that we've always been accepting of changes and differences. And what is to be done? Well, if we're lucky, we could get a strong leader who would also be a reformer. But in democracy, you can't ensure that. My hope is with the new middle class. That middle class did not even know the India. They're young and they did not know an India that was unreformed. They're creatures of the reforms. Their minds are liberated. They are the people who have supported the Anna Hazare movement, the Nirbhaya outrage. They've been the ones who are protesting. And these people now have to really do the hard work of politics. And movements, protest movements awaken people. They don't solve the problem. And that's the direction. And I've also suggested a liberal party for these people, because an aspirational party, because all the parties today treat everybody as a victim. The book is in the form of a long essay, and it's like an 18th century pamphlet, and it's so there is advocacy, and therefore these ideas I talked about what is to be done, a new liberal party, the role of, I suggest 1 hour a week for people to spend in their neighborhood. These are the kinds of things that can make people politically more responsible, and especially get the middle class, new middle class involved.